we're talking about herbs for beginners through a holistic lens, holistic home herbalism, what does that mean, and how is that different from other kinds of herbalism? It means that we care about the health of course, our bodies, right, which most herbalists do. But also in our holistic mindset, we care about the health of the ecosystems that these plants came from. We care about the health of our communities, both locally and globally. We recognize that our actions, in whatever insignificant way it can seem, our actions do affect changes both beneficial and detrimental around the world. So holistic thinking acknowledges that and leans into it. It's like, well, what can we really do if that's the case? How can we lean into that holistic thinking? A big part of it means that we're not just interested in our own health and the health of our bodies. We're interested in creating a connection and a relationship with nature, with the vibrant community that is nature that we're all a part of. And we're all a part of this community, this community of nature, whether we realize it and acknowledge it or not. We are all a part of nature. We are all earthlings, right? As holistic home herbalists, there's a couple of mindset focus shifts that can really help us kind of broaden into that holistic thinking and normalize that kind of holistic thinking. One is thinking, where did my herbs come from? Where did these herbs come from? These herbs that are currently in my hand or are currently in my teacup. Where did these herbs come from? Who grew them? How was the landscape left after the harvest? How was the community treated that brought these herbs to you? Where were they grown? Where did they come from? These are all really important questions for the savvy, holistic herbalist to consider. So let's consider them. We want to make sure that our herbs were grown with respect for the herb itself, for the earth that it was grown from, for the community that brought it to help to bring it to life and harvested it and got it into your teacup. Considering all of that as part of this holistic thinking. And it's these kinds of questions that help us choose the highest quality herbs, because it's not just about how much it costs, right? In dollars. It's about finding a balance of all of these different things. As holistic home herbalists, we care about the community, we care about the earth, we care about the workers, we care about the way the earth was left after the process happened, and whatever it was that brought it to our teacup. We can't always grow from seed everything that ends up in our teacup, and also maybe that's not appropriate for the world that we live in anymore. So another thing to consider deeply is the idea that we are the stewards of the earth for the generations that are going to follow. And how are we leaving that? How are we leaving the herbal environment for the herbalists to come? We want to consider those choices when we're thinking about making our purchases or trades. Also, an important part of holistic home herbalism is considering the larger global community and the way that our choices, our financial choices, how we want to spend our money, but also how we want to use our voices. As holistic home herbalists, we are connected to a global family of herbalists. Every culture in the world has a connection to nature and a connection to the plants. In an ideal world, we would simply be able to enjoy and appreciate the many herbal cultures of the world. As it stands right now, in order to do that, it becomes important that we leverage our own power to ensure that herbalists around the world have human rights and they're able to make choices about their own lives, about how they want to connect with nature, how they want to raise their families, and how they want to engage with their cultures. So sometimes as holistic herbalists, our role becomes standing up for human rights and really looking critically at power structures and our own personal choices to see how these things relate to this larger global relationship with nature. Holistic home herbalism it's such a fascinating journey into our own relationship with nature, into our own connection with everything that's outside of us, community,